the Chief Executive Officer of Amtrak. You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Good morning, Chairman DeFazio, Ranking Member Graves, Ranking Member Crawford, members of the committee. My name is Stephen Gardner, and I'm Amtrak's CEO. Thank you for having me here today to describe the accomplishments of this Congress and how the American Rescue Plan Act has helped Amtrak emerge from the pandemic and how the IIJA will allow us to improve and expand Amtrak service while creating thousands of skilled jobs. First, I'd like to thank Chairman DeFazio for his incredible 36 years of service to the nation, and in particular for his championship of Amtrak and intercity and high-speed passenger rail. You've been a tireless advocate for improved infrastructure, innovation, and safety for American workers and for the traveling public. Never afraid to speak your mind, always curious, with a well-earned reputation of being both tough and fair. You've pushed us all to do better for the American people. Amtrak and millions of our riders are better for it. So on behalf of everyone here at Amtrak, thank you for your leadership. Congratulations on all of your accomplishments, and we wish you the best in your next phase. Let me now turn to two accomplishments that were vital to Amtrak. As you know, we began 2021 in a state of crisis, with our ridership and revenue in tatters, employees furloughed, and many trains suspended because we were running out of the initial COVID-19 funding to support operations. Fortunately, you and many of your colleagues stepped up and provided emergency assistance to Amtrak through ARPA, allowing us to stay afloat, recall workers, restore service, and begin the hiring and training that was so necessary for our future. Simply put, ARPA is why we are still here today. And through your support and the hard work of Amtrak employees, we're now experiencing strong recovery with approximately 80% of our pre-COVID ridership back and many new customers choosing our trains. While ARPA enabled us to survive, the IIJA is now providing Amtrak and our partners with a chance to thrive. With $22 billion in direct investment in Amtrak and another $36 billion in grants available to the FRA, the IIJA is a massive down payment on the improvements and expansion of intercity passenger rail that Amtrak has argued for since our inception in 1971. Already, several of the largest capital projects that I've testified about at last December's Railroad Subcommittee hearing that will use IIJA funding are now moving forward. These projects are creating jobs for Amtrak employees, construction firms, and suppliers around the nation right now. To name just a few, we've broken ground on the Gateway Program's Portal North Bridge, and we've launched the procurement phase of the B&P Tunnel Replacement Project in Maryland. Over the past few months, Amtrak and its state partners have received several grants that position vital projects for upcoming IIJA funding, and we started to apply for the various IIJA-funded DOT competitive grant programs. For example, design concourse work in Chicago Union Station is being funded by the Federal State Partnership Program, while North Carolina just received a CRISI grant for the S-Line project. And we and our partners in Illinois have submitted a significant mega application for the Chicago Hub Improvement Program. Furthermore, IIJA funds will allow Amtrak to accelerate our plans to acquire new trains, funding the replacement of our conventional corridor fleet and a new generation of long-distance trains serving the nation to replace the hundreds of cars and locomotives that are at the end of their useful lives. IIJA funding will also ensure that we can bring the benefits of rail travel to more Americans by fully funding the $1.1 billion program we have to bring our stations into ADA compliance. While the primary beneficiaries of all this investment, of course, will be our customers, each of these efforts creates well-paying jobs and supports the broader economy. Between rebuilding our workforce to restore service and gearing up for these massive capital programs, Amtrak alone hired more than 3,200 people in FY22, and we plan to hire roughly 4,000 employees in FY23. Additionally, I'm pleased to report that Amtrak in Delaware just received an $11 million grant to establish a Railroading 101 program that will provide needed training skills for railroad jobs. In addition to these infrastructure projects, IIJA has jump-started the expansion of our network, as we and our state partners can now confidently begin planning and advancing projects to bring more trains to more people across the nation. Signifying this momentum, just over the past few months, we've added several new services with state partners in Vermont, Massachusetts, and Virginia. But this is a prelude to the huge opportunities ahead through the IIJA-created Corridor Development Program being led by the FRA, which will create a pipeline of projects to expand Amtrak service. Thanks to the IIJA, this is the most exciting time in Amtrak's history. Like all of our employees, I'm thrilled to be a part of it and grateful for the opportunity you've given us. The additional jobs we've created and the projects we're now advancing just represent a tiny fraction of the benefits the IIJA will produce for Amtrak in the years ahead. And we'll need continued support from this committee to ensure the authorizations that were enacted for annual funding are achieved so we can continue to operate the company while we modernize our assets and operate the network. Thanks again for your support over these many years and for your time this morning. I look forward to your questions.